He got into a what? Don't worry, I'ma deal with him. Son?
Yes, Mommy?
So you out here fighting in school now, huh? I'ma let your father deal with you. Honey? What's going on here? Your son thinks it's cool to be fighting in school. You fighting in school?
Yeah.
Did you win?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, son. Hey!
You're not mad?
Does it look like I'm mad? My son won the fight. My son won the fight.
I did win the fight. I did win the fight.
I want a divorce. I want a divorce.
Oh, great heavens!
I let them celebrate their inheritance at his funeral, then watched reality hit them 2 days later. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I adjusted the funeral program, trying to blend into the wallpaper while the family filed past me. 3 years I'd spent as their father's live-in nurse, and now I had to serve coffee at his funeral to the same people who treated me like dirt every time they bothered to visit. Without Mr. Beaumont, no one was there to defend me. I was just the black help again. A black woman from the projects contaminating their pristine southern bloodline just by existing in their grandfather's mansion. When they bothered visiting, which was rare, they'd look through me like I was part of the wallpaper. Complained about those people stealing jobs meant for real Americans. Whispered how their grandfather must have lost his mind to let someone like me near the family silver. The thing is that the night before Mr. Beaumont passed, his paper-thin hand gripped mine with surprising strength. Said he'd left me something in his will. Called me the only real family he'd had in years. The thought made my stomach churn because his blood relatives had no idea we'd even spoken beyond nurse and patient. They already hated me for existing in their grandfather's house. What would they do when they found out he'd remembered me in his will? And I found out quickly when Tyler, one of his kids, intercepted me at the entrance, his Yale class ring catching the light as he pointed toward the back. He said security needed to escort the colored help to the service entrance where I belonged. Madison clutched her designer purse against her body, announcing loud enough for everyone to hear that her wallet better still be there when she left. Charles, the eldest, simply nodded toward the side door without making eye contact. Then when the service started, it was a masterclass in fiction. Charles sobbed through a eulogy about losing his best friend, even though Mr. Beaumont had spent 2 years watching from his bedroom window every Sunday, waiting for a visit that never came. Patricia, his daughter, dabbed at dry eyes while explaining how dementia had made her father vulnerable to manipulation by certain opportunistic types. Her gaze locked on me when she said it. Then they started treating me like their personal servant, dumping dirty plates in my hands without acknowledgement. Then Charles gathered everyone for a toast, champagne glasses raised high. Freedom, he called it. Freedom from watching their inheritance get wasted on private nurses and unnecessary medical care, saying how happy he was that his dad had died since the money he had worked so hard for could finally be used for his kids. And you know what's worst? The funeral felt like a celebration. They spent hours talking about how they were going to spend the money, and all of them had already quit their jobs because dad got us covered for a lifetime. Richard took it further, acting out my supposed shock when I realized there'd be no money coming my way. The whole room erupted when he mimicked my face, discovering I'd spent 3 years playing nurse for nothing. Madison suggested I'd probably been planning to use inheritance money to escape the projects. They found this particularly hilarious. They were not only insulting me for being black, they were insulting me for giving life to their dad. I quickly left after the funeral, knowing that at least Mr. Beaumont appreciated me. 2 days later, the family arrived early for the will reading, fighting over the leather chairs closest to Mr. Edwards, the estate lawyer. I stood by the door like I had at the funeral. When Mr. Edwards walked in, he began with the small bequests, 10,000 to each grandchild. They barely contained their excitement, whispering about appetizers before the main course. Charles literally rubbed his palms together. Then Mr. Edwards adjusted his glasses and cleared his throat. The remaining